The 2011 BMW 1M Coupe by TJ Fahrzeugdesign. So, maybe it was a money issue or a timing issue, but you held off on putting your deposit down on the limited-run 1M Coupe. Now, you're likely kicking yourself as you realize just how popular it was and just how tough it may become to get your hands on one of the 6,331 of them in existence today. If you don't feel like waiting for a reasonably priced 1M to hit the used market and really only care about the performance of the 1M and not the official name, German tuner, TJ Fahrzeugdesign, may have the answer for you. TJ Fahrzeugdesign, which translates out to TJ Vehicle Design, has released a tuning and appearance kit that will give your run-of-the-mill 1 Series Coupe the look and feel of the 1M Coupe. Actually, you will likely annihilate any 1M Coupe on the street in this machine, thanks to 4 extra cylinders and loads more power than the stock 1M. So how does TJ Fahrzeugdesign's really stand up to the 1M Coupe? Click past the jump to read our full review and find out. Exterior. The exterior of this 1 Series modification kit includes the body kit that matches the one you'll find on any 1M perfectly. We're not too sure if this is a BMW M Sport kit modified to fit a standard 1 Series or an aftermarket kit that's a really good knockoff. Either way, it looks to be spot on. Our assumption is that this is a direct buy from BMW, as there are really no kits out there that mock up the 1M kit this accurately. And if one exists, we're sure Bimmer would be at their front door rather quickly with a lawsuit in hand. At the corners, you get a set of staggered 20-inch rims, wrapped in 245mm 9.64-inch and 285mm 11.22-inch wide rubber on the front and rear, respectively. This not only gives this 1M knockoff a stout appearance, but also plenty of grip in the twist. To compensate for this extra rubber, it appears as if TJ Fahrzeugdesign has modified the base 1 Series wheel wells, so they flare out over the wheels. The example model that TJ Fahrzeugdesign has told out for us is draped in all white on the outside, but we're sure you can have whatever color your heart desires. One issue with this build is that it does add a little flab to the otherwise nimble 1 Series Coupe, bringing its weight up to 1,630 kilograms (3,593 pounds), a 231-pound weight disadvantage to the 1M. In all, this exterior is sweet. We have seen plenty of hack job 1M knockoffs, but this one certainly comes very close to the real deal, at least from the outside. Interior. On the inside, the only information we have is that TJ Fahrzeugdesign will include the steering wheel and gear shifter from the 1M. Other than that, it appears as if the rest of the interior styling is completely up to you. Engine and drivetrain. Under the hood is what really makes this 1M copycat an awesome piece of work. TJ Fahrzeugdesign will lift out your stock 1 Series engine and plop in a massive 5.0-liter V10 powerplant from the last-gen M5. To boot, the tuners at TJ Fahrzeugdesign remapped the EQ to pump out some extra ponies and allow the engine a little more room to rev, increasing its redline to 8,600 revolutions per minute and its output to 550 horsepower. Given this is a remapping of the EQ, the V10's torque should remain the same at 383 pound-feet. TJ Fahrzeugdesign also pulled the propeller shaft from the M5, shortened it and will install it in your 1 Series. Plus, you will get the SMG automated 7-speed manual transmission. The combination of the engine and transmission net this 1M lookalike is 0 to 100 km per hour, 62.1 miles per hour, time of just 4.2 seconds to 0.4 seconds faster than the 1M, and a 0 to 200 km per hour, 124.2 miles per hour, time of less than 12 seconds. Its top speed is set at an astounding 325 km per hour, 201.94 miles per hour. So you may not have an official 1M, but you have all of the look and the raw power to kick nearly any 1M's ass up and down the track. Driveline specifications. Suspension and handling. Okay, as we stated before, this modification adds a ton of bulk to the 1 Series chassis and puts it a full 231 pounds heavier than the 1M. With this extra bulk comes the potential for diminished handling and braking. In combination with the extra wide rubber on the front and rear, TJ Fahrzeugdesign also installed the Club Sport suspension kit from KW, which is more than enough to compensate for the extra weight. The front brake system is borrowed from the X6M, which means it gets 15.6-inch ventilated discs up front. On the rear are the standard 1M brakes. The only real way to test the suspension is to drive the car, but unfortunately, it is all the way in Germany right now. So, we can only really judge it by what's on paper. Suspension and handling specifications. Pricing. The 1M, when it was new, retailed at $46,135 and the 1 Series Coupe cost just $31,200. At the time of this article, used 1M models ranged from $55,000 to $63,500. To have this upgrade performed, you need to pony up €20,000 $25,729 at the current exchange rates, which would put your 1M's cost at just about the same price it would cost to get a used 1M, if you can find one. You would also have to calculate in shipping the car to Germany, if you're not already there. Conclusion. So now we have to really weigh out our options here. If you are based in the US, you are looking at a minimum of $10,000 to ship your 1M to Germany to have this modification performed. This puts the modification total at $36,000, figure in the $31,200 base price you paid for your 1 Series, and you have nearly $70,000 invested in a mock-up 1M. For comparison's sake, if you were to sell your base model 2011 128i, you could likely get about $27,000 for it, according to NADA. Add that $36,000 to the selling price and you have more than enough money to buy a used 1M. With the leftover money, you can toss in some mods to get it to perform just as well as this model. As we said before, finding a used 1M is a task in itself. Auto Trader shows just 6 of them available in the US, so if you really want the performance of the 1M and cannot find one, this may be your only bet. If you happen to stumble upon a 1M and have to decide, we say go with the 1M all day, as it will be worth some serious cash in the future because only 1,000 of the 6,331 made were exported to the US. Love it. 550 horsepower V10 is a beautiful thing, no internal modifications on the engine, so there's room to grow, looks just like the 1M from the outside. Leave it, it's still a knockoff, way too expensive for US-based buyers. It is cheaper to sell your 1 Series and buy a 1M.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.